There's a lot of betrayal in the show. It's been really fun because when I booked the show and I got the part, I started telling people in my close circle, and I said, I'm doing this show. It's called Night Manager. They're like, The Night Manager? Are you kidding me? That was my favorite show 9 years ago. And I was like, what? You knew it? And they were like, yes, that was the biggest deal. And I was, 18 or 17 when it came out. So I don't know what I was doing, but not watching TV at the time. And then I got to watch I watched the show when I was binging it, accidentally binging it for my audition. And I had a meeting with Georgie, our director. And I thought, I'll probably just skim through a couple episodes to at least pretend like I know the show. And then, of course, you can't start Night Manager and not finish it. And so I binged this season and then got to work with Georgie and the cast from season 1, which we got, Hugh back and Olivia and Tom and Noah Jupe. And it was just, it's such a beautiful family to be a part of. I can't believe that they had me, that they welcomed me with such open arms, that it didn't feel intimidating, that it really just felt like this warm welcome. And, Diego and I are kind of the newbies on the show, and it just felt very organic and natural. I don't think Roxanna has the option to back down in the environment, in the world that she lives in. I think that Roxanna has to put a brave face on all the time. And perhaps even if she is terrified, I don't think there's ever a world in which she could show it. I mean, it's life and death, right? So it's like, the stakes are so high all the time that she can never be on the back foot. She's always, always on, and she's manipulating and being tactile and being, just so in tune and aware of what her next step is, and it's always changing, and she's calculated. And one may say that it's not a pro to be manipulative and calculating, but in this case, when you're dealing with such dangerous people and you're in such a scary world with such high stakes where every decision could lead to your death, she has to be this brave, bold, strong character. You can never see an ounce of fear in her eyes, or else these men will take advantage of it.
Yeah, I mean,
working with Roper, I was reading the scripts being when I realized he came back in 3, I was like, God, please have a scene with Roxanna and Roper. It's just my personal dream to work alongside Hugh and Laurie. And I love the way episode 5 ends, when you finally see these two people come together and you see Roxanna, and maybe even if she is terrified, she's not going to show it, and she'll always, kind of keep her chin up to these big powerhouses. She's not going to back down.
No. And it's especially threatening because he's like, I'll send you in 31 shoeboxes to your mom or something. That's really terrifying.
I almost laughed when he did that line, because Hugh is such a funny, sweet, warm, cozy person that he I think he might have improv that line. He did a couple improvs, and I was laughing because I just was like, you're so sweet. It's just funny to connect Hugh and Roper. But watching season 1, I was terrified of Roper. Watching season 2, I'm terrified of him, but then sweet Hugh in person, it was different. I think that when Roxanna finds herself stuck between Teddy and Pine, she has to choose the option that is going to protect her. At the end of the day, she is a survivor. She's a lone wolf. She's in this environment with crazy, dangerous people, doing high-risk things, doing illegal things. And I think that she knows at the end of the day she can only trust herself. Any one of these men, any one of these people can turn their back on any moment and put a bullet through her head. And I think that as much as she loves Teddy and considers him like a family member in a way, what is that dynamic like when you know that family would kill you in a moment, without even thinking about it twice, without even flinching? It's the same for Pine. Maybe she has some love for Pine. Maybe she sees herself in him. But at the end of the day, he's going to compromise her if he has to. And I think that in episode 5, when she learns that he in fact did compromise her and he lied about immunity and prosecution, she's now not getting any of that. She's given him all this information, and he can't protect her, and he can't give her the one thing that he promised her. And I think that that's what makes it okay for her to betray him. She's like, you're not going to get me home, so I need to figure this out for myself now, because you're not taking care of me. And in fact, you've put me in a really dangerous predicament that could cost me my life. So I think in that moment, there's a very big shift of why Roxy goes for the other team. Because these men are lying to her and nobody has her back except for her. So she has to watch out for herself. Well, I leave that to the creatives. I mean, David Farr knows what he's doing, clearly. I would be so curious to see what his vision for her could be. I think that there's so many ways which the story can go. I think that I always said, you know, Roxanna wants to get home and she wants to get back to her mom and she wants to get out of this criminal life. But I think that there is a part of Roxanna that is a hustler in the game. And I think that she gets a lot of adrenaline and thrill. And I think it fills a very big void in her life where she doesn't ever want to feel like the underdog. Her dad was killed for being the underdog. And I think that there is kind of this chip on her shoulder and this need to prove herself to show that she's going to come out on top. And it's kind of this power dynamic. And I think that there are people who play in that world. There is an addiction to the game, you know, an addiction to the power. So I think Roxy perhaps thinks she wants to walk away from it, but I would envision her falling back into that world because it's kind of all she knows. And she wants to prove herself as an equal to the men. She's by no means a love interest, and she's definitely not a damsel in distress. So there's a lot of places this story can go. We never see her reaction to it, but I know Roxy loved Teddy. I think she really loved him. I think she did, and I think that it's not a loss that she enjoys. I think it will stay with her for the rest of her life. It's someone that at some point she did trust and she did love, and he did take her under the wing. And, you know, even though he was dangerous and complicated, there's love there. There was like a brotherly, sisterly kind of love. And I think that it will weigh very heavily on Roxanna that ultimately Teddy doesn't make it.